appreciate you for coming back for another episode of Go Long Live with Barry Long 2 and Sage Alvarez. I am Barry Long the second. Don't forget the 2. Not the first, not the third. I am the second. Barry Long 2. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in right now on today's California.com. We are also live on CoachellaValley.com and today's Canada.com. In today's Canada, I got something special for y'all today. We are pleased to announce that Sage and I will be joined by Alex LeBlanc. He is the head of basketball for UFF Sports up there in Toronto. So we are going to join him. He's going to be joining us live here in a second. Remember, we've got that $25 gift card, e-gift card to Desert Beer Company. You're going to be able to qualify. The first step, I'll tell you right now, you got to go on Facebook. You got to like todayscalifornia.com. You got to like the Coachella Valley page, and you've got to like the Today's Canada page. Now, we're live in Indio, California, Coachella. It is. I told you guys it only rains about 5 days a year out here. It is about to rain right now. So if I get up and I just run away from the stream, don't be surprised because I love rain. I'm an East Coast kid, born and raised, and I just love the rain. And that's probably the only bad thing about living in Southern California is no rain. But Sage, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Barry the second, not the first, not the third. Barry the second.
Sage Alvarez, tell them how they can find you on Twitter, buddy.
You can find me on Twitter at SageDub, and you can find me on Facebook at Sage Alvarez. I'm going to add you as a friend.
Absolutely. And you can find me on Twitter at Radio Barry Long, and you can also find me on Facebook at Barry Long II. Now, we're gonna talk that Panthers Texans game from yesterday. It was a great game. It was an all right game. I ain't gonna say great game, but it was all right. But we will also do our picks. But first and foremost, let's bring in our guy Alex LeBlanc. He is the head of basketball for UFF Sports. Alex, how you doing, sir?
Man, I couldn't be better. Thanks for having me on here. I'm so excited for this weekend.
Oh man, glad to have you on the show today, Alex. Oh man, you got some big time moves. I can't wait for you to get into or help our viewers show you what you've been up to.
So what is tell us kind of what UFF Sports is and what it does.
Yeah, so a simplified version of what we're doing is we are putting the sports world on the blockchain. We are trying to do that as perfectly one-to-one as we can. So every single athlete would have their stats verified and tracked on the blockchain with blockchain transactions. And then from that, we are creating an entire sports ecosystem, is what we're calling it, where we're launching every major pro league with a major fantasy pro league to go with it. So myself, I'm the head of basketball. We are launching our NBA equivalent, which is the UFBA, and that's what's auctioning off this weekend. So what we're basically terming it is it's the digital NBA. This is where it's one of one. There'll be 30 teams just like the NBA. There'll never be any more. There's not multiple NBA leagues. There's only one. So if you want to play fantasy basketball, you have to be a part of this league. And then where we take it really cool into the next level is we bring the athletes on board and we get them paid for their stats. So just like how Eminem and such can make money off their music for as long as the music exists, well, that's what we're trying to do with the stats for the athletes and give them this perpetual income based around the fans that want to engage and want to be a part of their sort of life, their story through NFTs and through esports gaming and simulation sports. So there's a lot going on here. My general spiel about what we're doing is anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how long I can ramble for.
Well, we got time, bro. We got time, bro. But yeah, so you're based out of Canada, correct?
Yeah, about an hour from Toronto. I like to go there to visit, but I love being able to come back to my small hometown where it's nice and quiet, peaceful. But yeah, no, I love it up here.
And I see you guys got some big names associated. I see Rashad Phillips is the ambassador at UFA, and I also see Kendrick Perkins. I hear a lot of names involved. I mean, can you give us a little insider for the interview?
Yeah, so tonight we're unveiling. We announced Rashad Phillips is our ambassador, starting off the league with UFF Sports. He's going to be a team owner, and like you just dropped there, he's going to be co-owning the team with Kendrick Perkins. So we're obviously super excited about that. That'll lead to producing a digital athlete NFT for Kendrick for the Legends League. Not sure where he'll rank into the lineups there, but I'm sure he'll be able to get in, especially with that personality, man. Who wouldn't want to have Kendrick Perkins on your team?
Exactly.
And not only that, right? Because now what I said about taking fantasy sports professional, well, there's more to it, right? It's not just the fantasy sports. You're making your own team name, your own jersey, right? And now all these players that are part of the team, when they sign on board with us, well, they get cut into the profits of selling that jersey. So these players that aren't a part of a team anymore, now once we get into the Legends League style play, well, they'll all be back on a team. It'll be a 15-man NBA squad again, and they'll all be sort of, repping the same team, sell merch. There'll be different cool experiences we can do. So again, it's a cryptocurrency project. There's a coin that powers it all, and holding that coin will give you different access and benefits through all the different athletes you bring on. And the one main part of the project is that it's not just for the best of the best, right? It's every single athlete is needed, has a place, has a spot on the roster. Talking football, the offensive linemen get points in our league, right?
Okay.
We do that all by hand right now because the tech literally does not exist yet, but we're making it exist for the purpose of what we're trying to do and give every single player a home, a spot, a value in our system, right? So it's not just the stars we want every single one of them to be coming on board. And I've dreamt of a life in sports, and it doesn't feel real what I'm doing right now.
That is awesome. So this is like really, really innovative. Now, is this like a dynasty league, or is this going to go year to year? How's it going to be?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So it's absolutely like a dynasty league. There's a one-time startup draft, and that will carry your team till you trade or release the players. So there'll be for the NBA league, let's talk about what we're doing at this weekend. There's a 15-man roster. You'll be able to draft all 15 players. And draft, we're doing the draft October 8th and 9th. First couple rounds will be televised or through our partner AO Sports. But yeah, so then you're making trades. There's small fees associated with our coin. That's how the prize pool builds up. Talking a little bit of money. Our football league that just sold, the teams went for $6,500 all the way up to $62,000, where we had a hotel owner in Vegas step up to the plate and buy a team. So we're spreading sort of far and wide. We've got groups, literally, like I said, a hotel owner in Vegas has bought in, and there's groups of 10 guys that all chipped in like $800 to grab a team. So, we kind of have it all over the place of what our team owners look like. And I mean, as I stated it, we're trying to build the digital NBA. So if that's the digital NFL, I'm pretty excited for those guys being on that ride for the next couple of years.
Now you've got a hockey league that's already in full swing right now. Now tell us how that is doing as well. Is it successful, or is it a lot of people playing fantasy hockey?
Personally, it's been extremely successful. I mean, so how I found the platform was I found a trade on Twitter, right? I saw two teams made a trade. They posted the trade to Twitter, and my mind went immediately to, all right, who won the trade? Right? There's a winner and loser in trades and sports and all, and I usually feel like I have a good eye on who that might be. So I tried to figure out the dynamics of the league and what was going on. And I was just blown away by the depth of it, right? At that point, it was a 31 team hockey league expanding to 32 because the NHL was expanding to 32. And I was like, wow, that's pretty neat and intuitive, a cool way of going about it. And basically, the rule set is that there will never be any more or less teams than exist in the pro league. So if they expand, we expand, but that's it. So I came in hoping I could buy a team possibly, and was met with some price tags I couldn't afford at the time. So I got super lucky, and there's one team that still needed a GM. So I actually got hired to run one of the fantasy hockey teams, right? I come in just a fantasy diehard or a sports diehard, doing this stuff for free and passion my whole life. And suddenly a week later, a guy had transferred me $100, said that I was in charge of running his team, and off to the races we went. So I kind of just go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys are just now joining us live on Today's California, Today's Canada, or CoachellaValley.com, we are joined live by Alex LeBlanc. He is the head of basketball for UFF Sports. And this is like really an innovative thing. Like, this is one of the most interesting things I've heard of, because when esports first started, people were online gaming, and it was very elementary, and then it just started to progress, and now you got like serious money being involved with these games, and they're being televised. And this is kind of like what you're doing with fantasy sports, no?
It's absolutely the exact same. And what you laid out perfectly with esports, it became something that people are like, okay, you and I, we could play video games, but we're not on that level. And when people do get to that level, when you see people that dedicate their life or their free time, their passion, whatever, try and make it their profession, it's really cool to see the products that's produced, right? That's where people now enjoy watching all these e-gamers play and the esports, in arenas being sold out. And that's where we will look to take our leagues. So we start off with a professional league like the NBA, Well, immediately within the next year, we'll be looking to launch a Legends League, and that's where, the Kendrick Perkins type, that's what they will play. And so the ideas around that will be that we develop a partnership with a video game, whether that's 2K or something. Obviously, basketball, there's not a whole lot of options for what's mainstream played right now, but something like that, and then would run the same 30-team, legend style league where now anybody throughout NBA history could be drafted onto a team. So we always have these, who's the best, well, we won't get that perfect, maybe one-on-one exact experience, but we will get some parts of it, right? Like having Kobe, LeBron, all those guys, once they're in the Legends League, like they'll be going up against each other. And so we talk about esports. Well, we'll have our partner that's broadcasting the game out. We'll have some of these athletes, ideally, will be on and maybe commentating it, or they might be the actual coach calling plays. We'll then look to also hire these esports gamers to come in and play for us and be running our fantasy team. So we hope to really connect across all these different, new ways of enjoying sport, of the future technology coming together and people coming together around it, and really just, keep staying at the front edge here of innovation and being on the ball. Always looking to adapt and improve.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, man, my son, he's 9, he's about to be 10 in a couple of days, and he was the one that really put me on to esports. Like, he's in there watching guys, play, and there's commentators for esports, and I was like, what is going on? And now I find myself watching these games, watching people play video games, and watching them commentate. And fantasy is one of those things where people, a lot of people do it just for fun. But you're out here making money off this thing. And so how much money did you say again? What each team costs tonight?
So the buy-in tonight, $5,000 minimum in US dollar bidding. So it'll open up at $5K minimum. There's a chance teams might go as low as that, but they won't go any cheaper than that. So if you did want in, you make sure you email me, get in contact, whatever, UFF Sports on Twitter. And we'll hook you up with any of the details. It's definitely not for your everyday, just casual weekend league player. If you check trades once a week in your fantasy league, yeah, this probably isn't for you. This isn't for you, and that's cool, right? And maybe just the part of running the team isn't for you. We have different levels of involvement. Again, you could just hold the coin because you think that we might have a good idea, and there could be other really cool benefits that come from holding the coin. And again, connecting the blockchain technology and the things you can do with ownership and knowing who owns what. There's, honestly, God, it's been ridiculous. I quit my job 3 months ago to jump into this project full time and give it my all. And I have not worked any less since quitting my job. I've worked way more, and I haven't had any, I've never had more fun doing it. It's one of those, when you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work. And yeah, you don't necessarily believe that line until it's happening. And that's sort of what I'm at now.
I felt that same energy when we're on the Zoom meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
'Cause I found you through Sports Talk 2319, and I'm a big Rashad Phillips fan. I follow everything he does, and when I saw your project, then I wanted to get my follow. I wanted to get my followers into this. I put you on that post and and just seeing the passion when we were on that Zoom, I was like, I gotta get this guy on the show. I need him to talk about this, and it's
And then when you had suggested it, I was like, yeah, man, somebody else wants to hear about what's going on, I would love to tell them. I'm fine with it. No, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's for somebody though, or maybe whatever degree of it. I love talking about it. And I find that sharing the ideas, sharing the passions, you find other people that also, again, are passionate or have ideas in different ways. And when you talk about the basis of our project of trying to bring the entire sports world onto the blockchain, it's going to take a lot more than the people we already have to do all that. So that's where we keep just looking for good people, come from good places that want to, work on a really fun idea. And that's how it's been. How I got my role was begging the founders, like, hey guys, can I code websites for you? Can I can help with the social media posts or just direct marketing to be like, I don't know what I can do, but I want to do something more with you guys because this is really cool. And if I had a chance to make this my life, I don't want to miss it. And that's really the mentality that I've been going at it with. If somehow this all fails one day, and I'll go flip burgers at McDonald's, I don't care. I'll make ends meet. I'll put food on the table. We'll do it. But I'm giving this all I got until then. You know what I mean?
I can feel the passion in your voice, Alex. You can feel it. My viewers can feel it. Barry can feel it. I can see his face.
Feel it. We are joined by Alex LeBlanc. He is the head of basketball for UFF Sports. And going into this really, really unique fantasy league style that is launching tonight, or you guys are going to be bidding off teams tonight, auctioning off teams. Now, is it straight cash, or is it cryptocurrency, or is it both?
No, it's straight cryptocurrency. We do have it available so you can pay in Bitcoin or Ethereum, a couple of the main ones. But the entire project itself is powered off of our own coin, which is called Score Coin or SCO. And so every payment for anything in our platform is always done with that coin.
Wow.
So we can accept Bitcoin and transfer it for you, but that's the best we can do. Past that, we have myself, who has been training in cryptocurrency since January when I found it, and a couple other team members that will do everything possible to assist anybody that has never touched cryptocurrency before in their life. No problem at all. We can help you get in if that's what you wanted. We just want to make sure that people know what they're buying into. It's not a cheap thing. It's not just a fantasy league. Like, there is the business side to it, the marketing, the merchandise. Like, that's what we are selling and trying to create here. So with the bidders coming on board, we want to make sure that everyone knows what they're signing up for. We have league votes on things to pass. The owners will be the ones to decide on the future certain playouts of the league, because they're the ones invested into it.
That's awesome, man. And now, just really quick before we let you go, Alex, I want to ask you that: do you guys do fantasy baseball as well?
Yes, absolutely, man. It's coming up. So our timelines got sped up because of the explosiveness of the NFT world, the cryptocurrency, how everyone sort of started to adopt it a bit more and more. I think actually the number for the world is we're under 2% of people have touched cryptocurrency. So I'd say there's still room for growth, but in that we move forward an accelerated plan of launching the sports. So we got up our football league in the summer. Our basketball league is auctioning off this weekend. We're actually going forward with a football legends league, which is launching next, and then right after that is the baseball auctions. So the baseball auctions will take place, I believe it's November 5th to 7th, in the opening weekend of the World Series. It's either opening or closing weekend. I should figure that out. But one of the two of the World Series, and then gameplay will start at the start of next season. So we're looking to bring every sport on, and anybody out there, if you have a sport that you're passionate about, find us and bring it up, and we'll start looking to how to do it. So that's all we got to do. We got to get the data and create a league around gameplay, create the gameplay. So anything's possible, and that's what I'd love to do at this project.
I really feel like we're talking to like a young Mark Zuckerberg right now. Like,
Oh, we are. We are.
I hope you are.
Yeah, this is incredible, man. And now, real quick, just before we let you go, I always got to ask people with gray beards, because you see, I'm working on mine, and I got like California on one side,
Okay.
and California on the other side. But how long you been growing your beard, buddy?
Yeah, I was the quarantine guy. I started with quarantine last year, let it go just till I couldn't let it go anymore, and now I've really just liked it since then. Once you get past that itchy stage,
that's
it's
what I'm at right now.
I've clean shaved. I clean shaved once since last March, and I hated it. So I don't know when the next time will be that I clean shave again. I can take it down low and still don't mind it, but I've much more preferred this look at this point now.
Awesome, man. Well, we hope to have you on again, and we thank you for your time, Alex LeBlanc, head of basketball for UFF Sports. Thank you for your time, buddy.
Thank you so much for your time today, Alex.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Man, Sage, that is some serious stuff right there, bro.
I know.
Serious. I mean, we're talking like we're talking some serious coin for fantasy teams. I'm excited, man. I want to see where this thing's gonna go, and I really believe he makes me believe. His passion comes across on camera, and I think it's gonna be major.
It went from me just wanting to learn more about the league to like, I gotta get this guy on the show. You can just feel the passion in his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a great guest.
and I'm trying to figure out right now how I can come up with $5,000 so I can get me a team. But so we are live on CoachellaValley.com. We are also live on today'scanada.com, today'scalifornia.com. And my name is Barry Long II, and this is Sage Alvarez. Sage, how did you feel about that game last night? The Panthers versus the Texans.
The injuries were just killing me inside last night. It was too much. I mean, at one point, I'm like, is DJ Moore okay?
Yeah. CMC got injured. We saw Christian McCaffrey go down with that hamstring injury early in the game. And he was really the player that everybody wanted to see. He's like, the top player in that game They had all these interviews with Steve Smith, leading up to the game. So you were very excited to see what CMC can do. And this is his first game kind of on the national stage, in a primetime game where they're the only game on. And it sucks that he goes down on an injury, and they say he's going to miss maybe a couple more games. Hopefully it's not a lingering hamstring injury. But yeah, watching that game last night, the casual football fan is going to be bored watching a game like that. I mean, it's two teams that aren't really projected to make the playoffs or be, great teams in this season. But the Panthers are 3-0. They're 3-0 right now. And Sam Darnold is a damn good quarterback in my opinion. And I think that, him getting off to a slow start in his career with New York, a lot of that can be accredited to Adam Gase. A lot of that can be accredited to the New York media, because it is a monster out there. And, putting him in a quieter place with weapons that he's familiar with in Robbie Anderson, and then get him in a coach like Matt Rule, who really does lay down the rules. It seems like when he walks into that room, he is the head coach and he's the only one speaking. And Adam Gase, you really didn't get that feel from him. You felt like Adam Gase was a pushover, kind of a player's coach, but kind of, like people are getting over on Adam Gase. Nobody's getting over on Matt Rule. So nope. I feel like Sam Darnold finally has, the parts in place for him to be successful. And last night, I mean, he made the throws when he needed to make the throws, and he stepped up to the plate. And I was impressed with what I saw from Sam Darnold last night. How do you feel?
I feel pretty confident in Sam Darnold, just taking care of business, not letting one slip up, because it would have been a really bad day for him if he had lost that type of game. And they would have the thing would have been, did he lose because of CMC being injured? And we're going to get all those comparisons, but really, like, the people just need to see him win. And it doesn't matter. They're like, you don't have CMC, but you still have DJ Moore. You still have Robbie Anderson. Like, you got to go out there and produce. You got to make it work with Hubbard. And honestly, got the job done. They're 3-0, but going forward, it's not looking good for Carolina because you got it's looking like multiple weeks out for CMC right now. The reported today. So let's keep an eye on that. And they need CMC back ASAP. He's the guy that allows Sam Darnold to actually grow, because they're going to start loading the box and they're going to make him throw.
Yeah, and we saw when they loaded the box, when CMC was out of the game, the running game was not as effective as it was before. I mean, he does so many different things out of that backfield. He can catch the ball. I mean, he can run through you, he can run around you, he can juke you, he can do it all. So I definitely like him as, one of the top running backs in the league. But yeah, man, injuries, we always see it happen to running backs. And I mean, the hamstring, you need your legs to run. You definitely need your legs to run. We got a comment from Kurdish Aram. It says, hi. How you doing, Kurdish? We appreciate you for tuning in on today's Canada.com, today's California.com, as well as CoachellaValley.com. Now, I was a little bit surprised with David Mills. David Mills he had one touchdown drive that was right before the half, and he kind of put it together. I mean, every time that they went into this no huddle, they started to move the ball. It felt like every time they went back to the huddle, things started to get stagnant and slow down. But yeah, I was very impressed with David Mills' ability to take the ball down and score right before the half. But he's just not going to be your starter long term. He really isn't. I mean, he's got 12 to 13 games started in college. He's going to need some more experience. And Tyrod Taylor is your guy. He's the starter, and he will be ready in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So the Texans, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs at all. And honestly, Carolina starting 3-0, I really don't believe that they're going to make the playoffs either. I mean, they're in a division with the Saints. They're in a division with the Bucks. And you never know with Atlanta. But I felt like there were some good things to take away from that game last night, but ultimately, neither one of those teams is going to be in the playoffs.
Nope.
All right, so now let's talk these NFL games that we got coming up. We always do our picks. We pick 5 games. Now we got a little bit of time. We can talk about each one. Saints and Patriots. Who do you like and why, Sage Alvarez?
I'm looking towards the Patriots this game. I think the defense is going to give Saints a lot of problems, and they showed it with the Jets. And Winston, for how great he looked week 1, didn't look the complete opposite week 2. And I think the Patriots defense isn't going to let up. I have the Patriots winning.
And I really like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones, he is a leader. He comes in and he's a rookie, but he doesn't act like a rookie. He doesn't even look like a rookie. He looks like he's been a veteran. His face looks like a veteran. But yeah, his demeanor, everything that that he's been doing these past couple of weeks, as far as leading that team, it's been exciting to watch. And Jameis Winston, we talked about it week 1. He had a tremendous week 1. And he turned right back into crab legs Winston, because you get the good with the bad with crab legs, and they didn't perform well last week, but I do think that they're going to perform well this week. I think they're going to have a bounce back game, and I am picking the Saints in a close game over the Mac Jones Patriots. Now, the next game, this is your game, man. You're a Raider fan. We got the Raiders and the Dolphins. Now, there are reports that Tua Tagovailoa is going to be injured. Probably, for the foreseeable future. He's been injury prone in his career. They're gonna have some struggles this weekend without him. Who do you like in that game and why? I know who you like in the game, but just tell us why.
Kind of a tough choice this week without the other team's starting quarterback playing, and Derek Carr is playing really well. I mean, and the defense is playing really well, and Ruggs is playing well.
Ruggs is playing well.
We don't know about Jacobs if he's there. It said very questionable. Like the very thing made me like, okay, he's very out.
Oh yeah. I like the Raiders too. I like the Raiders in a blowout, man. I mean, this team is for real. And I think it's time that we start respecting the Raiders. We've seen what they've done the last 2 weeks. They've played well against 2 good teams, and this is gonna be like a tune-up game for you guys. I think it's gonna be a blowout, and I'm excited to see John Gruden finally have some success, some sustained success in Oakland.
It's been a while.
In Las Vegas. I'm sorry,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. What is he like? He's in the year 4 on this deal, on this 10-year deal. It's time to start winning, brother.
Yeah, he hasn't really won since the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, to be honest with you.
And some people will argue that was Tony Dungy's team.
He really won it because he knew the whole entire Raiders offensive playbook.
And he got them in the Super Bowl. It was just
ran the same playbook as Gruden. Gruden was like, "You guys are running my same stuff. You guys are joking. Literally the same terminology, no different." He's like walked in and you got the offensive lineman going to Mexico the night before the Super Bowl.
A hot mess.
It wasn't meant to be for the Raiders that year.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. Now this is the game of the week that a lot of people are excited to watch. This is the Bucks versus the Rams. The Buccaneers coming in, off of that Super Bowl victory last year. They started off hot this season already, 2-0. Looking at just continuously having the same success that they've had in the past. They've got the same roster they had last year, same coordinators, more energy, and Tom Brady, who doesn't have a torn MCL this season. And then you got the Rams, who have bounced back with Matt Stafford, and they are looking like a team that finally can do something with that number 1 ranked defense. So who do you like in this game and why?
Gotta go with the Rams.
Okay.
I like the Rams this week, and I'm going with the Rams this week. Is because I feel like the Buccaneers, this is just that one they lose, and not I think it's gonna be a close game, but I just see the Rams just playing with Cooper Kupp playing at that high of a level right now. I don't know if the Buccaneers have the right answers for him right now. You got Robert Woods, you got Van Jefferson, and really Sony Michel is kind of doing a great job filling in for Cam Akers. And some people argue with me that Cam Akers really hasn't done anything yet, and I was like, well, that's the point. If Cam Akers is there, they could be even better.
They could be way better.
I think they're good enough right now to beat the Bucs.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I think, like you said, that's the one they'll lose. That's probably the only one they'll lose, the Buccaneers, because they look like they're going to go 15-2, 16-1. I mean, this team looks like a juggernaut. But yeah, I do like the Rams. I feel like they're it being in LA, I feel like just Sean McVay, his ability to game plan and focus all week long on what the other team does well. I feel like the Rams are gonna present some problems also on the defensive side of the ball, because Jalen Ramsey is a problem, and I look for him to have an interception off of Tom Brady, because that's just my bold prediction. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I picked the Rams as well. Now, Packers 49ers. Who you got?
Packers. They're gonna bounce back and win this. They kind of looked a little sloppy in the first half of the Lions, but I expect them to have a complete game. Let's give them a complete game this time, not just one half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that offensive line holds up against that pass rush. But yeah, I like the Packers too. I think Aaron Rodgers is just once he goes in at halftime and he makes those little halftime adjustments, he's just gonna come out and shred you up. I mean, it doesn't matter if you go run zone against him, you try to run man against him. And Devontae Adams is playing at a high level right now. He literally is the best receiver in the league, and nobody can stop him. Footwork, running routes. I mean, you can try to jam him. There's no stopping this guy. So, yeah, I think the Packers are going to win this game. I don't think they'll blow him out, but I think that they'll win it. They'll win it decidedly. Now, the last game we've got, this is going to be our Monday night game, but we're going to break it down more on Monday. Eagles versus Cowboys. Who do you like? Now, this is going to be a good one.
Cowboys. I gotta go with my boy Dak. Dak is playing great football. You just see something special in him. I became more of a believer in him the past couple of years, and just the more you see from the film, the more you see from his progressions, and his team is good. You got Lamb, you got Cooper, you got Zeke, Pollard. If you get Zach Martin when he's back, like that, they have a great offense, and they can win a shoes
in this game. It should be interesting to see. So make sure we write those down and we come back to those and on Monday and see what our record is. We appreciate everybody for tuning in today. We certainly want to thank once again Alex LeBlanc, the head of basketball for UFF Sports. We will give you guys a link to go check out the page and go check out how you can join his fantasy league if you got the money. Only if you got the money, because it's $5,000.
The auction tonight is at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you make sure you get everything set up, because that auction is gonna be amazing. I've heard I can't even mention names on air, but there's gonna be some real big names, not just Kendrick Perkins and Rashad, but stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned, and hopefully we're gonna have Rashad Phillips on the show. And Kendrick Perkins on the show as well. Eventually, we'll get to that point. But just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and make sure you go and like Today's California page on Facebook, the Coachella Valley page on Facebook, and Today's Canada page on Facebook, and then you will qualify to win that $25 e-gift certificate to Desert Beer Company in Palm Desert next week. Okay, so we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and remember, man, this week enjoy football this weekend. Stay focused, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, you are capable of doing anything. Sage, great show, man.
Great show today, Barry. The second, not the first, and not the third.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Barry Long _II, and I'm on Twitter at Radio Barry Long. And Sage, tell them your information.
You can find me on Twitter at SageDub, and you can find me on Facebook at Sage Alvarez. I'll add you as a friend.
Absolutely. Now, it's time for me to go out here and enjoy this rain, brother. I'll see y'all, man. Thank you. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's been another episode of Go Long Live.